Good evening, everyone. My name is Dan Caruso, and I will be your host for this evening, which is a fancy term for meaning I'll get to tell you who's coming up next. My first introduction is probably one of my biggest honors because they're two dear friends of mine, as well as having a special status in this evening's concert. These two ladies actually were the two members of the chorus and the only two members of the current chorus that were present when this concert was first presented 42 years ago. Therefore, they're very special, and they're very special in all our hearts. So without further ado, I'd like to present Cécile d'Entremont and Mary Desautel.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cecilia d'Entremont and
Mary Desautel.
We are here to proudly present the Northborough Area Community Chorus's Spring Concert, America in Song, celebrating the 250th birthday of the town of Northborough, which was incorporated in 1766. We performed this program 42 years ago in 1974 with the Northborough Historical Society, celebrating the bicentennial of the country's birth. Mary and I are the two remaining members of that concert, along with our director, Anthony Volpe. We are revisiting that program, adding music from the 70s to the present, in song and narration. You will explore the history of the town from the Revolutionary years to the present. All selections this evening are by American composers.
Included in this evening's presentation is an original composition by our Anthony Volpe to honor the town of Northborough. And speaking of original compositions, I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles was written by John William Collette while sitting on his front porch in Northborough of his Northborough home. He went on to fame in Hollywood and Broadway. The song was background music for the theater organ for many a silent film and beyond. The song is still being used today. Our narrators include Northborough notables, including State Representative Harold Naughton. We hope you enjoy our journey through America's musical history. And happy birthday, Northborough.
We began this evening where our country began in the Revolutionary years, and I'd like to present our first presenter. I'm sorry about that. I would like to present, this is Mrs. Claire Swan, who's the chairperson of the 250th Anniversary Celebration Committee.
The Revolution. The first selection on our program tonight was composed by Francis Hopkinson of Philadelphia, George Washington's great friend and legal advisor. Hopkinson was a lawyer, churchman, musician, a member of the Continental Congress of 1776, and a signer of the Declaration of Independence. His name was often the center of musical activity. Hopkinson composed many songs and words of chamber music. One of these, "My Days Have Been So Wondrous Free," is said to have been Hopkinson's first and George Washington's favorite. Northborough was not isolated from the troublesome times of the Revolution. The pastoral calm of this sleepy little village had been shattered by a roadside tea party in protest of the Stamp Act 9 months before the famous tea dunking in Boston Harbor. In the spring of 1775, a company of Minutemen was organized. They began to drill for the trouble they were sure was coming. They didn't have long to wait, for on April 19th, about noon, news of the Battle of Lexington arrived in Northborough. So the Northborough Minutemen assembled in the home of their leader, Captain Samuel Wood, and marched off to Concord. Well, the British were in retreat by the time the Northborough contingent arrived, and probably did not participate in the day's battle. However, they joined the front line in Cambridge, and many of them participated in the Battle of Bunker Hill, where Captain Wood was slightly wounded. In all, 124 men served in the military during the Revolution. The most popular song with soldiers of Washington's army was the fiercely patriotic Chester. It was written by William Billings, a tanner's assistant, who was born in Boston. Billings was a great singer, organizer, and director of one of the singing schools, which were popular in New England at that time. Billings wrote the music and the first verse of Chester as a hymn in 1770, but then converted it to a war anthem by adding another verse in which leading British generals were derided.
England's
Columbia, the gem of the ocean, figured in a transatlantic squabble over who wrote it first, a pair of Americans or a pair of Britons. The truth may never be known about the origin of this stirring tribute to the flag, but if you listen closely, you may detect obvious resemblances to another national anthem, the Marseillaise.
Now, leading us on, Westward Ho, is Town Clerk Andy Dowd.
Good evening. In the early 1800s, the cry was "Westward Ho!" The confident, expansive spirit of the young republic was expressed in the songs of its frontiersmen. The frontiersmen, the rivermen, a chanty boy in the high seas, the California 49er, all accomplished their work with songs, and after work they sang and stepped to the lively fiddle tunes of country dances and singing games. The curious sect known as the Shakers expressed their emotions while singing by bowing, turning, and whirling, stamping, drinking imaginary wine, and miming their daily tasks, all at lively, even frenzied tempos. The song that best conveyed their view of life was Simple Gifts, which, as the lyrics indicate, called for bowing, bending, and turning. Another traditional song of the era was This Old Hammer. It has undergone several changes, but it has never lost any of its popularity. The country's westward expansion was interrupted by a more pressing problem as the 1860s approached. The new president, Abraham Lincoln, was tormented by the specter of war between the North and the South. More memorable songs were written during the Civil War than in any other 5-year period in our history. And when the war was over, more purely American music was being sung than ever before. A natural in the heyday of barbershop quartets, the song Ora Lee was received quietly at first, but 20 years later achieved popularity. Almost a century later, the cadets at West Point appropriated the music, giving it a new set of lyrics and title, Army Blue. It is still tradition with the Cadet Corps. In 1956, it became a pop favorite under the name Love Me Tender, and new lyrics for a movie starring Elvis Presley. Of late, the country has gone back to singing the original lyrics, making the song a solid favorite.
Now, to bring us into the Civil War years, I'd like to introduce Tom Lowe.
The African American slave, though deprived of his freedom, provided the nation with much of its memorable music. The slave voiced his hope for a better life in themes taken from the Bible. Spirituals have been called the only true American folk songs. This is exemplified in such selections as Deep River, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Sometimes I Feel Like a Motherless Child, and Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen. The sentiments of the slave are deeply expressed in the moving spiritual There is a Balm in Gilead, sung by the chorus. The tune of the Battle Hymn of the Republic was popular long before Julia Ward Howe penned her immortal words early one morning in November of 1861. About 6 years earlier, the melody had been used for a camp meeting hymn. It was used again about 1869 when members of a Massachusetts infantry company adapted it to a humorous poem ribbing one of their sergeants. The poem was called John Brown's Body Lies a Moldering in the Grave. Well, the song became popular, but only because it was mistakenly associated with the John Brown who was hanged in 1859 for inciting an uprising at Harper's Ferry in Virginia. At any rate, by the time Mrs. Howe traveled to Washington in 1861, the tune had become a marching favorite of Union soldiers. Here is the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Popular music in this era was sung around the parlor organ or the melodeon, at socials, quilting bees, weddings, in camps, and in cafes. Professional singers performed anywhere they found an audience. And the best-known singer of the time was Jenny Lind, the Swedish nightingale. She became an instant success on every concert stage in the nation. She arrived in New York in the fall of 1850, signed a contract for 150 concerts at the unheard-of price of $1,000 per performance. Her sponsor was the famous showman P.T. Barnum. The highlight of her American tour was a concert at the White House when she sang Home Sweet Home for President Millard Fillmore and his cabinet. The agony of the war was felt in Northborough as early as in most communities. This town, with a population of only 1,500, sent 154 men to fight for the Union cause. And the Northborough paid a heavy price. 29 sons of Northborough died on the battlefields or in prison camps. The first to fall was Warren F. Eames. He was only 19 when he entered the Army on October 31st, 1861. 2 months later, he was mortally wounded in the blundering Battle of Ball's Bluff on October 21st, 1861. And there were others who joined young Eames in the roll of honor. The following is the Northborough Civil War dead: Thomas W. Woodward, Jr., James H. Sullivan, Francis Hanley, Albert H. Stacy, John Burke, John F. Larkin, Lucius F. Kingman, Waldo B. Maynard, Charles E. Warren, George A. Prouty, Joseph Dudley, Charles L. Shaw, John W. Forbes, Joseph A. Davis, Joseph F. Johnston, Joseph H. Proctor, John Breach, Perry Towle, Adelbert W. Bemis, Lorenzo Fletcher, S. Henry Bailey, Thomas B. Davis, George F. Merriam, Leander Fay, Gustavus Richardson, Nathaniel Hodgkins, Edwin W. Pierce, and Albert H. Caruth. A favorite around the Army campfire was the touching song Just Before the Battle Mother, which expresses the soldiers' longing for return to family and home.
Hark, I hear the bugle
gay 90s. And our next presenter, Kathy Pierce, who's a trustee of the Northborough Historical Society.
And so, after the Civil War, Northborough and the rest of the nation nursed the wounds and tried to erase the terrible memories. The country grew. Territories of the West became states, and industrial expansion was upon us. It was a new era in American song. From the Great Plains of the West came the loping trail songs of a unique breed of men called cowboys. And from the cattle town saloons came honky-tonk versions of minstrel songs and tragic ballads about famed desperados. From the East came a mixture of sentimental songs, teasing songs from the variety and burlesque, earnest songs, and gay amusing songs. The era best known as the gay 90s marked the end of the 19th century, and the brand new 20th century was upon us. Tin Pan Alley was born to house the products of the golden age of the sentimental songs and the barbershop quartet. It was the dawn of a less inhibited age to come, heralded by new dances and the rhythms of music called ragtime. It was also the age of Scott Joplin's rollicking music, which had a revival through the background tunes of the 1973 movie starring Paul Newman and Robert Redford, The Sting. The Northborough Area Community Chorus now sings a medley of songs unique to this period. As in many of the nation's songs, America the Beautiful had its beginnings in a hymn. The words came from a poem by Catherine Lee Bates, a Wellesley College professor, who was moved to write about the majesty of our Western scenery.
1900s. I'd like to present Jane Fletcher, a member of the Board of Directors of the Northborough Historical Society.
The 20th century hurtled this nation into a new role in the world community, like it or not. All eyes were on the United States, the land of great opportunity. And we sent our boys over there to write the war to end all wars. Then we brought them back to the frantic roaring 20s, the crippling Great Depression of the 30s with prohibition for a chaser. This period conjures up a picture of Ellis Island, the Statue of Liberty, and the teeming crowds of immigrants who came to our shores for that new start in life. So we moved over and made room. A gift from a grateful French government, the Statue of Liberty stands in New York Harbor as a welcome to all ships. Inscribed at the base of the statue are the words of Emma Lazarus' sonnet, "The New Colossus." Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Well, the great Irving Berlin took the last few lines of this poem and in his incomparable style put them to music for his show, Miss Liberty. Northborough's role in the development of our musical history may have been minor, but one song with Northborough roots had considerable impact on the pop music scene of the 20s. The old standard I'm talking about is I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles, written in 1919 by John W. Collette. It sold 5 million copies in its first year. Collette came to Northborough from Lowell as an orphan teenager to live with an aunt. He worked for the Worcester Telegram from 1886 to 1902. Collette wrote music scripts, directed 23 films for the Lasky Corporation, which later became Paramount Studios, and of course he wrote songs. Music loved by the entire world poured from the pen of George Gershwin, one of America's most prolific composers. Although people still think of him as the greatest popular songwriter of all time, he is, year by year, attaining a special place in the Hall of Fame for modern, serious music, as evidenced by the Metropolitan Opera Company's revival of Porgy and Bess in 1975.
Summertime, and
To help bring the first half of our program to a close with the 40s and 50s, please welcome Joanne Sullivan, Museum Trustee, Northborough Historical Society.
Some of us here tonight are old enough and fortunate enough to remember the wonderful days of the big bands in the swing era. Young people in love swayed to the musical sounds of Les Brown and his band of renown, to Glenn Miller, Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey, Vaughn Monroe, Duke Ellington, and Harry James. Many of these bands played at the Lionhurst in Marlborough, Sun Valley at the Northborough-Shrewsbury line, and the Moors in Shrewsbury. The Everly Brothers were American, country-influenced rock and roll singers known for steel, string guitar, and close harmony singing. The Everlys' Bye Bye Love was ranked 210th on Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest songs of all times, and has been covered by many artists since, including Simon and Garfunkel and George Harrison.
Bye.
It was during the 1940s that the Broadway musical, with its strong storyline, really took hold in the development of American musical history. Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein had a special knack of selling a story for the musical stage, with hits like Oklahoma, The King and I, and The Sound of Music. The Wizard of Oz is widely noted for its musical selections composed by Harold Arlen and lyrics by Yip Harburg, both of whom won the Academy Award for Best Original Song, Over the Rainbow. The song became Judy Garland's signature song, as well as one of the most enduring standards of the 20th century. The arrangement you are about to hear is Barbra Streisand's updated version from The Wizard of Oz. back 200 years in history and song. We have given you an insight into the growth of a young nation, its good times and its bad times. With the help of God and a pledge of faith in the future, may we proudly proclaim, "This is my country."
We're into the protest years. I'd like to introduce Laura Zeiton, who's a member of the Apple Fest Committee.
On November 22nd, 1963, the assassination of John F. Kennedy dramatically awakened the nation to a growing movement of protest and violence. The Navy hymn, Eternal Father, Strong to Save, by John S. Dykes, is known the world over and was played at President Kennedy's funeral. It was a fitting tribute to one of the most revered presidents of the century. Shall overcome. Once in a rare while, in time of special stress, a simple song has caught the mood. The truth of a moment more faithfully than history can tell. We Shall Overcome has crossed wide boundaries to mean many things to many people. The civil rights movement put the nation on notice that there was a gap in the high-sounding proclamation that all men are created equal. And Martin Luther King's battle cry was, I have a dream. Pete Seeger captured the spirit of these times with the national anthem of the civil rights movement, We Shall Overcome. The 1960s produced, among other phenomena, the avant-garde musical Hair. I suppose Hair can be described as the original American tribal rock musical. It certainly gave us some memorable lyrics and tunes. It also provided us with a preview of a 70s craze, streaking. While rockets zoomed off into space exploration, the youth of the nation was zooming off on a trip of its own with drugs, psychedelic lights, and rock music. Youth, in its headlong rush into maturity, is quick to grasp the new and innovative idea. The Jesus movement gave a new approach to religion and was also felt in musical terms, such as the rock opera, Jesus Christ Superstar, and the musical Godspell. Its heavy rock theme had particular appeal to the young. Paul Simon was influenced by a line from a gospel song to write Bridge Over Troubled Water for his wife Peggy, who he met that year. The silver girl in the song refers to her and her first gray hairs, not to a drugged hypodermic needle, as was believed by some in the United States. Everyday life in the United States was increasingly racially and politically charged. The next song was intended to provide hope with regard to the future. George David Weiss wrote the song for Louis Armstrong as he was inspired by Armstrong's ability to bring people of different races together. What a Wonderful World was not initially a hit in the United States, selling fewer than 1,000 copies upon its release. In the UK, however, Louis Armstrong became the oldest male to top the charts at number 1. In 1999, the recording was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. At a live performance, Armstrong said, "Some of you young folks have been saying to me, 'Hey, Pops, what do you mean, what a wonderful world? How about all them wars all over the place? You call that wonderful? But how about listening to old Pops for a minute? Seems to me it ain't the world that's so bad, but what we're doing to it. And all I'm saying is, see what a wonderful world it would be if we'd only give it a chance? Love, baby, love. That's the secret."
Before we continue on through our journey through time, I'd like to take a moment in time, if you'll pardon the pun, to take care of some business that the chorus is also well known for. I'd like to introduce to you the president of our organization at this time, Mr. John LaJoy.
Thank you very much for coming. Every year we give out scholarships to graduating seniors who are either going to college or are entering the military service. So I'd like to announce those scholarship winners. And if you can come up, if you're here, I'll present you with your certificate. NACC Scholarship, Samson Abdel Kabir. If you're here, please come. Mackenzie Carver, an NACC Scholarship. Come right up. James Rose, an NACC Scholarship. Come up, James. And if you could, Could you just stand here after I give you your certificate? Samson Abal Kabir. And we have some special scholarships that over the years we've named after some of our members who have passed away. And the first is the Regina Verbata Memorial Scholarship, and that scholarship goes to Stephen Donnelly. Could you please come forward if you are here?
You'll probably receive that at Milford High School.
Okay. And our next scholarship is in memory of Janet Flood, and it's the Janet Flood Memorial Scholarship. Henry Fournier is the recipient of that scholarship. And just recently, within the last few weeks, we lost a dear friend who was in our soprano section, who we've dedicated this concert to. Her name is Sue Bindman, and we have established a new scholarship in behalf of her memory. She was a good person, and boy, did I love to sing with her. So the winner of the Sue Bindman Memorial Scholarship is Sarah Milnamau. If you are here, please come forward. And those are our scholarship winners. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, John. And as they say, now back to our regularly scheduled program. Bringing us into the 1970 through 2000 period, I'd like to introduce Jack Sharp, who's a trustee at the library.
Unlike the 1950s, when rock and roll began, or the 1970s, which spawned punk and disco, the 1980s musical headline may have been the rise of rap and the renaissance of country music, which made household names of Garth Brooks, Sean, Puff Daddy Coombs, and the Judds, Naomi and Winona. Other artists who left their imprint on the musical scene include Billy Joel and Elton John, both artists having morphed from pop stars to Broadway composers. Breaking his squeaky clean image as the youngest member of the Jackson Five, Michael Jackson experienced a meteoric rise as a pop star. His song, Billie Jean, enjoyed 7 weeks at #1 on Billboard's Hot 100 chart. On Broadway, both A Chorus Line in 1975 and Rent in 1996 enjoyed both critical and artistic acclaim, each winning the Tony Award and Pulitzer Prizes in drama during their respective years.
said, I am the one who will dance on the floor in the round. She told me her name was Billie Jean, as she comes to the scene, that in every head turned with eyes that dream of being the one who will dance on the floor in the round. And people always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go down with the young girl's hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love. Be careful what you do, because a lie comes the truth. Hey, Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She claims I am the one, but the kid is not my son. For 40 days and for 40 nights, I was on her side. But who can stand when she didn't demand her schemes and plans? Can we dance on the floor in the round? So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice. Don't think twice! She told my baby we danced till 3, and she looked at me, then showed a photo. My baby cried, his eyes were like mine. Can we dance on the floor in the round? And people always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go down with the young girl's heart. Then you came to talk about me, the smell of sweet perfume. This happened much too soon. She called me to her room. Hey, Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. Woo! She said I am the one, but the kid is not my son.
Inspired by the music of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, Billy Joel wrote The Longest Time, with an intention to feature a vocal group called the Persuasions as the backup singers. However, when they sang in the studio, the Persuasions tended to go flat, so they were dismissed and Joel recorded each of the parts himself.
If you said goodbye to me tonight, there would still be music left to write. What else could I do? So inspired by you, as it happened for the longest time. Once I thought my innocence was gone. Now I know that happiness goes on. That's where you found me, when you put your arms around me. I haven't been there for the longest time. Whoa, want you so bad. I think you ought to know that I intend to love you for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest time. Whoa.
Jonathan Larson was an American composer and playwright noted for exploring the social issues of multiculturalism, addiction, and homophobia in his work. In his musical Rent, loosely based on Giacomo Puccini's opera La Bohème, Jonathan Larson intended for Seasons of Love to be performed symbolically at one of the characters' funeral. When Larson died unexpectedly of an aortic aneurysm on the night before the preview opening of the show, the cast sang it at the beginning to pay their respects to the composer.
Now we've come to now. Music of the Millennium. It's my honor and privilege to introduce Representative Harold Naughton, who represents the 12th Worcester District. Naughton, I'm sorry. I practiced, too.
I said as long as he gets it right in November. One of the biggest changes, and I apologize for my voice tonight, one of the biggest changes in American music after 2000 may be the popular method of downloading music over the internet onto your iPod. Apple's Steve Jobs made agreements with the 5 major record labels to offer their content through iTunes, becoming the only legal music downloading service. In 2002, the reality TV show American Idol gave us Kelly Clarkson, and then Ruben Stoddard, Fantasia, Carrie Underwood, Taylor Hicks, just to name a few. And in 2005, YouTube's video sharing service offered another venue for young musicians to share their music to a worldwide audience and begin the music careers of many popular artists, including Justin Bieber, the Philippine Charisse Pempenko, and Grayson Chance. In 2007 and 2008, this next song won 9 awards, including 2 Grammys and 5 various country music awards. The song tells the tale of a woman's revenge on a cheating lover. Although she had been cheated on before, Carrie Underwood said, "I wouldn't recommend doing any property damage. I'm kind of a let it go and move on kind of gal." Debbie McCabe.
So dashing with the beach on time fast, trying to get frisky. Right now, it's probably paying her some fruity little drink, 'cause she can't shoot whiskey. Right now, he's probably up behind her with a pool stick, showing her how to shoot a combo. And you don't know.
Walt Disney founded an American animation studio and brought us stories, characters, and music from international kingdoms, cultures, and lifestyles, opening our minds and our hearts. The husband and wife songwriting team, Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez, wrote our next song, but we can thank American actor John Travolta for making Menzel a household name after mispronouncing her name when he introduced her at the 86th Academy Awards. Let It Go became one of the most globally recorded Disney songs, with covers recorded in multiple languages, and won the Academy Award for Best Original Song.
The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like a swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I've tried. Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know. Let it go, can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn away, slam the door. I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on. Cold never bothered me anyway. It's funny how some distance makes everything seem small, and the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. It's time to see what I can do to test the limits and break through. No right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free. Let it go, let it go. I'm one with the wind and sky. Let it go, let it go. You'll never see me cry. Here I stand, and here I'll stay. Let the storm rage on. My power flurries through the air into the ground. My soul is spiraling in frozen fractals all around. And one thought crystallizes like an icy blast. I'm never going back, the past is in the past. Let it go, I am one with the wind and sky. Let it go, that perfect girl is gone. Here I stand, and here I'll stay. Let the storm rage on. Cold never bothered me anyway.
When Americans need comforting, we often turn to food and music. God Bless the USA was written in 1984, but showed increased popularity after the September 11th attacks, during the 2003 invasion of Iraq, and again 5 years ago this week when Americans flooded into the streets upon learning of the just punishment and death of Osama bin Laden at the hands of American service members. Like so many of the songs we've heard today, this last song gives us thanks for being an American and most of all for the freedom that we enjoy. God bless the USA.